Okay, we're back. I've rearranged the camera position after I recorded about 30 minutes of video that you couldn't see what was going on, so maybe this will be a little bit better. Now, I can't remember what I talked about earlier. I was talking about the flux. The flux is just boric acid with some other little secret ingredients that the manufacturer put in just to make it fancy. It's the same stuff that's the old timers use for forge welding. And it's the same stuff that you treat pink eye for. I would tell you the name of the bacteria, but back in the 70s, they changed a lot of the names of the bacteria. And I went to school in the late 60s. So I had to take microbiology terminology twice, actually. One in the classroom and one in the lab. And I never worked a whole lot in back tea. But anyway, it's just plain old ordinary everyday boric acid. Beef talon is what they used 150 years ago, I guess, or whenever they decided or learned that they could solder things together. And I've actually tried beef talon, and it does work. But I don't raise cows. I don't slaughter cows, so I don't have access to beef talon. And it's not something you can just go to the store and buy. I think I mentioned that every part of the veil affects the sound, the tonal quality of it. And the clapper is one of those things that will change the the tonal quality. The size of the clapper, the shape of the clapper, and the weight are all variants. I use stainless steel for two reasons. It doesn't rust, and it's heavier than mild steel. Years ago, when I was trying to figure all this out, I actually would take a nail and cut it into short lengths, which worked really good, except when you go to pickle to remove all the flux and crap off the veil before you polish it. It causes nickel silver to turn pink. And what I use to pickle with is 20% sulfuric acid, which is nothing but garden variety battery acid. rather than pay tremendous amounts of money for granulated radiator cleaner, which also is excellent tickling agent. I just use battery acid. And I neutralize that with saturated solution of saturated baking soda. This thing recording? Yep. Yeah, you can see a little bit better. You still can't see real good what I'm doing. Just trying to slip the equator band over the veil. Sometimes you get one that doesn't want to cooperate. Probably because I didn't clean it, deburr it real good. You take a ring mandrel. And upsize it a wee bit. And it will just slip right on. You don't want to leave too much of a gap. The more gap you leave, the more solder it takes to fill the space. And silver solder isn't cheap. I explained yesterday on yesterday's video about the cost of silver solder, and I misquoted. I think I said what I used to pay $30 for now is $150. It was actually, I used to pay $9.76 for the same amount of silver solder I get now for $150 plus. Sometimes you can find it on sale, but it isn't very often. I try to about 20, 25, 30 ounces at a time. But when I do it that way, it's really a shocker next time you buy it. In fact, I need to do that this afternoon, put an order in. I've used 30 ounces of silver solder since November of last year. Made a lot of veils. Now, when I get the veil close enough to me where I can see it, the camera doesn't see it. And try one more thing, I think. We'll see what happens. Take the tripod extension off. Maybe that will bring it closer. Or try the zoom. If I can zoom in a little bit. It's possibly better. What I'm doing, I'm just coating the inside of the equator ring band with flux, dropping in a clapper and putting the other half on. Put some flux. Put enough on the outside of the valve and push it towards the equator, which gets it underneath the equator, so I won't have any empty spaces, which will affect the sound of the bell. Even positioning of the B-wit flange, or a little piece of metal where you run your B-wits through it to connect it to the bird. The position of it will affect the sound of the bell. Little trick, you need if you make bells using this method, you need a ring mandrel. Sometimes you'll come across one that just doesn't want to fit for whatever reason. You can stretch it. Some metals stretch easier than others. This brass I use is very pliable, and it's easily machined too. Good stuff. I would like to use a harder brass, but means more cost. We've got to watch our pennies, yes indeed. Still really can't see. Anybody know a cameraman that works cheap? As in all the tea or coffee they can drink. We've been going almost 15 minutes. I think we'll turn it off. You've probably seen much of this nonsense as you really want to see. But this is what's involved in assembling the bells. I will eventually get around to showing how I make the equators. I'm working on a new design of a bell, so and I sent it to Falconer to field test it, and if he likes the way it turns out, I'll start making them and put them on the website. So a big thank you to Jeremiah. I don't want to cooperate. The punch that I use for forming these bells is made out of stainless, and I've been using them for about 30 years or more. They're beginning to wear a little bit, and that's what causes this waffle appearance on the equators, which I think it just gives it character. It doesn't affect the sound in any way. So, rather than putting the money out to have new punches made, I just add character to the bell. Because my metal lathe isn't precise enough to turn them where I'd turn them myself. Make excuse me, make some equators before I finish this batch, it looks like. Yeah, we've been going 19 minutes. That's probably long enough. I'm sure you don't want to sit here for the entire 6 or 7 hours it takes to do this. However, when I recorded the fly rod making videos, I recorded everything. Okay, so we'll see you next time. Be sure to give me a like and a subscribe, and see you again later.